Octave Penguilly Haridon was a French painter known for his works depicting Breton landscape, myths and history. He was also curator of the military Musée de l'Artillerie in Paris. Career. Originally from Plébéne, in Brittany, Penguilly Haridon trained to become an artillery officer in the French military. However, by 1835 was also taking drawing lessons. By the 1840s he was designing illustrations for books, generally on Breton topics. Curatorial work. After retiring from active military service, in 1854 he was appointed as curator of the Musée de l'Artillerie in Paris, a position he retained for many years. In this capacity he helped to defend the authenticity of ancient flint tools discovered in Pressigny-le-Grand. In 1862 he wrote and published a comprehensive catalogue of the museum's collection, including an account of the origins and history of the museum itself. Art. He showed works in various exhibitions throughout his life. Though generally considered an exponent of academic art, he could also be experimental. In 1859 he showed at the Salon a landscape entitled Les Petites Moettes, depicting a bleak rocky inlet on Belle Isle. The subject, composition and the colors of the work are in complete break with the established convention. The picture was praised by Maxime Duchamp and Charles Baudelaire, who referred to the sense of the uncanny, as though the rocks make a portal open to infinity, a wound of white birds, and the solitude. Many of his works were inspired by the Breton landscape and the region's history. Several were used as illustrations in books on the region. His most notable work is the historical painting Combat Des Trenta. The elaborate frieze-like composition portrays the combat of the 30, a famous episode in medieval chivalry during the Breton War of Succession. It depicts a late stage in the battle, when the dazed and exhausted combatants continue to hack away at one another on the verge of total collapse. The Revue Française saw it as an example of Haridon's genuine interest in medieval culture, but objected that this is not history herself. Living, human, full-blooded, skillful, ingenious, knowledgeable, well-informed about all matters medieval. It lacks the most important quality, life. Penguilly Haridon increasingly became interested in combining history with science. He painted a picture entitled Stone Age representing primeval culture. He chose to reform traditional religious iconography in his painting Les Berges, Conduits par l'Étoile, Chez Rendon to Bethlehem, depicting the shepherds led by the star to travel to Bethlehem. Indeed, the shepherds are represented here as modern Bedouins with their dogs, and the Bethlehem to which they travel is a small settlement in the desert, indicated by the star. His version of the arrival of the Magi is equally unusual, portraying another desert-like foreground, with the Magi arriving in a procession in the middle distance, led by an Indian elephant.